Good evening. Here's the Fortune's Global News coming to you on Fortune's Television. I am Hauwa'u Lere with the news, but first the headlines. ECOWAS to raise 260,000 counter-terrorism brigades. Federal government introduces mandatory ethics, criminal screening for teachers. NANS vows critical asset shutdown over ASU strike threats. And the foreign scene, Israel's killing of 6 Gaza journalists draws global condemnation. And on sports, Nigeria storm India for Commonwealth weightlifting championship. Now the news in details. The Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, says plans are underway by the regional bloc to activate a 260,000 member counter-terrorism brigade. President of ECOWAS, Umar Ali Toure, stated this at the 2025 African Chief of Defense Staff Summit in Abuja. The summit's theme was combating contemporary threats to regional peace and security in Africa, the role of strategic defense collaboration. Toure, who was represented by ECOWAS Commissioner for Political Affairs, Peace and Security, Ambassador Abdel Fattah Musa, said this was part of the efforts to reduce the scourge of terrorism and other forms of insecurity in the sub-region. He said besides the counter-terrorism efforts, the bloc is also pursuing the operationalization of its integrated maritime security, adding that no region in Africa is spared the scourge of terrorism, civil and predatory wars, organized crime, and underdevelopment. The federal government has unveiled a teacher ethics and criminal record verification framework, making it mandatory for all teachers in public and private schools to undergo ethics screening and criminal background checks before employment. Minister of Education Dr. Tunji Alausa announced the initiative on Monday in Abuja at the official launch of the Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria digital portal and its new strategic vision for the teaching profession. He said the measure is part of broader reforms aimed at restoring dignity, accountability, and professionalism to Nigeria's education system. The celebration began in 2015 through the initiative of Abdulbaki Aliyu Jari, a former BBC Hausa service journalist and now TRT staff member, alongside his social media associates. The day was established to bring Hausa speakers together to reflect on the development of the language and address challenges it faces in the 21st century. In the past 2 years, International Hausa Day has been celebrated in more than 20 countries, including France and Saudi Arabia. Advocates hope that Hausa language will one day be recognized as an official language of the United Nations, the African Union, and the Economic Community of West African States. The main opposition People's Democratic Party has zoned a 2027 presidential ticket to the south, shutting out the possibility of a northern candidate flying its flag in the next election. This was part of the resolution reached at the party's 102nd National Executive Committee meeting, held at its national headquarters in Abuja on Monday. The NEC also confirmed Ambassador Umar Damagum as the party's substantive national chairman. He is to hold the position until the party's elective national convention in Ibadan, scheduled for November 15 and 16. The decision of the party to zone its presidential ticket to the south mirrored a similar path taken by the ruling All Progressive Congress, whose governors, National Working Committee, and National Assembly caucus have already adopted President Bola Tinubu as its sole candidate for the 2027 election. The National Association of Nigerian Students has threatened to shut down critical infrastructure nationwide if the federal government fails to meet the demand of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, which has again warned of possible nationwide strike. NANS Assistant General Secretary Emmanuel Adejuwon, in an interview with The Punch on Monday in Abuja, expressed deep concern over ASU's latest threat, vowing that the union will mobilize Nigerian students for massive nationwide protests that will shut down roads, airports, government offices, and critical infrastructure. Adejuwon stressed that only the children of the masses are negatively impacted by ASU's strike, saying this strike must not be allowed to happen. The Yobe state government has rolled out plans to save 126,000 households 467,976 individuals across high-risk local governments in the states. The plan is coming after the State Emergency Management Agency reported the cases of windstorm, heavy rainfall, and floods, which affected 4,521 households, leading to the death of 7 persons from January to August 2025. Speaking to journalists on the 2025 Flood Preparedness Plan at the Conference Hall, Advisors Complex Damaturu, the Executive Secretary of Yobe State Emergency Management Agency, Dr. Goje Mohammed, said the plan became necessary as climate change and seasonal flooding remain significant threats to lives, livelihood, and development. On the foreign scene, the Israeli military's killing of 6 Palestinian journalists, including an Al Jazeera cameraman in Gaza, has caused global condemnation, with the Al Jazeera media network accusing Israel of assassinating journalists as part of a systematic campaign to silence the truth. The Israeli military bombed Nasser Hospital in Khan Yunis on Monday, killing 5 journalists, including Al Jazeera photographer Mohammed Salama. The attack comes as Israel has intensified its offensive to seize Gaza City, the main urban center in the enclave of 2.3 million people, despite a famine being declared last week. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu claimed the attack was a tragic mishap. And on sports, Team Nigeria has arrived in Ahmedabad, India for the 2025 Commonwealth Weightlifting Championship, a week-long competition that also served as a qualifier for next year's Commonwealth Games in Glasgow, Scotland. Punch Sport Extra reports. The Nigerian contingent comprises 12 lifters across multiple categories, with a mix of debutant and experienced campaigners set to showcase the country's strength on the international stage. Among them are Ruth Asuku, women's 48 kg, and Edidion Umuafia, men's 67 kg, both from Akwa Ibom State. While Asuko will be making her international debut, Umuafia returns for his second championship, having first competed in Uzbekistan in 2021, where he qualified for Birmingham 2022 and went on to win bronze. To end the news, a recap of the major headlines. ECOWAS to raise 260,000 counter-terrorism brigades. Federal government introduces mandatory ethics, criminal screening for teachers. NANS vows critical asset shutdown over ASU strike threats. And the foreign scene, Israel's killing of 6 Gaza journalists draws global condemnation. And on sports, Nigeria storm India for Commonwealth Weightlifting Championship. That ends the news at this hour. On behalf of the news editor, Malam Musa Alhaji Muhammad, I am Hauwa'u Lere, thanking you for investing your time.